Oh yeah? No, please wait!
Hey, what is up guys, this is Sleet. In the last video, I showed you guys that it is possible to defeat the final boss with my hands behind my back, and now I want to show you how it's done. Before we begin, let me preface with a few points. First, this is a meme build and does nothing for you in terms of progression. Second, you should have most things unlocked, especially the Mirror of Night, and are consistently able to get to the final boss with full health and death defiances before you try an AFK run. Third, there are multiple variations of builds that would work here. The one that I use certainly isn't the only one, and there are probably stronger variations. Fourth, there are tons of RNG elements out of your control that will affect the outcome. For example, if Dad keeps applying boiling blood and wailing on you, then likely you'll go down no matter how good your build is. Or perhaps you're relying on dodge chance like I do here, and boy do I get lucky. And by the way, I would have never known there's a cool dodge animation had I not tried this AFK thing. With all of that said, these AFK runs may take several attempts to achieve success, but they are both hilarious and exhilarating as you sit there wondering what's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. Brings out the inner gambler in you. I'll let the rest of the fight play out, and for those of you who took part in the guessing challenge, you can check your guesstimates against the boons at the end.
Finished then?
We're not finished. You tell no one at the house. Do you hear me? Beaten once again.
Yes.
So you want to try it out for yourself? Great! As I mentioned earlier, there are multiple ways to pull this off, and no one thing will guarantee success, but the following tips should help guide you to achieving the best possible chance. As you probably guessed, it's all about revenge boons, those boons that trigger when you take damage. The number one core boon you want to chase after is Vengeful Mood, a duo boon from Ares and Zeus, which automatically triggers all of your revenge boons every 3 seconds, even without taking damage. To meet the prerequisites, it probably makes sense to start your run with either Ares or Zeus and grab one of their primary boons, whichever makes most sense for your weapon aspect. And who gives out revenge boons? You got Ares and Zeus, of course, but you also have Aphrodite, Demeter, and Athena, strangely. It's possible to get boons from all 5 of these gods using the gods' keepsakes between biomes, but assuming you focus on the default of 4 gods, I would say Ares and Zeus are absolutely essential, not only because of the duo boon, but also because their revenge boons provide the highest damage output. The other 3 gods' revenge boons do far less damage, but they benefit in other ways. I'd probably rank them as follows. Aphrodite is better than Demeter, is better than Athena. Why, you ask? Well, let's take each god one at a time. Starting with Ares, Curse of Vengeance is what you want. It has the highest base damage and highest damage potential, especially when paired with Impending Doom. This is how you're seeing 700 plus damage in my run, and it is absolutely what carried the fight. Zeus's Revenge boon, Heaven's Vengeance, has the second highest base damage, and you'll want to grab Double Strike and Static Discharge to enhance the lightning damage. Maybe also the legendary Splitting Bolt if you're super lucky, but certainly not worth chasing after. As you can see from this run, I didn't even use Zeus's Revenge boon at all. Now for the other three, Aphrodite's Revenge boon, Wave of Despair, inflicts a bonus amount of damage, but the interesting thing is that it applies weak, and with weak status you can get 1. Damage reduction as you can last longer in the fight, 2. Damage increase so that your revenge boons do more damage, and 3, most interestingly, you can chase for Ares Aphrodite duo boon, Curse of Longing, to greatly enhance your doom damage. You should also take her Life Affirmation boon, which increases the efficacy of Centaur hearts you pick up, which will greatly help you with increasing your health pool. Demeter's Revenge boon, Frozen Touch, only does 10 base damage, which seems to make it a terrible choice, but it also applies the max of 10 stacks of chill, which causes Hades to attack about 50% slower, meaning more time to apply auto revenge damage and more survivability. Moreover, if you pair it with either Arctic Blast or better yet Killing Freeze, but not both, you'll get some nice damage over time, as you saw in my run. Finally, you have Athena with her Holy Shield boon, which also has lousy base damage, but it causes you to briefly deflect. Theoretically, deflecting Hades' damage could output significant damage, especially when paired with Brilliant Riposte. However, the shield only comes up after you get hit, and the shield is so brief, it will likely go down before Hades hits you a second time. This is especially true if you have Demeter's Revenge boon, which will slow Hades down. Thus, in my opinion, it's better to go with the other two instead of Athena if you can help it. So that's pretty much it for the boons, but there are still a number of other things you want to optimize before you reach Hades. First, weapon aspects, and I recommend 2 that will actually help. One is the aspect of Arthur for the 50 HP boost, or the Zag Fists for the plus 50% dodge. As you can see in my run, dodge was extremely helpful, especially in avoiding boiling blood. You can also acquire dodge using the Lambent Plume keepsake or through a Hermes boon, like in my run. But obviously the more dodge you have, the lower your damage output will be, since your revenge boons trigger upon taking damage, and you'll be more reliant on the auto revenge damage. Thus, even with some dodge, you'll want to have a pretty high health pool to take some whoop ass from Dad. There's no magic number, but I'd suggest having at least 3 Death Defiances and more than 350 health. That means taking Thick Skin from the mirror, maybe equipping Cerberus's keepsake, though I think Scully's is better, and picking up as many Centaur hearts as you can. On that last point, be wise about choosing between palms, hearts, and coins. Palms for your revenge boons are great, and at least a few levels are probably necessary to have sufficient damage, but remember there are diminishing returns after level 3 or 4 or so after that focus on getting those hearts. Finally, you still want to have a build that will comfortably get you to the final boss. If you're going Arthur, Aphrodite, or Ares on the attack works quite well, and if you're going Zag Fists, Zeus on the attack is a strong choice. Or you can try to chase after the Merciful End build. The details on that build is in a previous video, link in the top right corner. And I think that's about it. Again, these are all ways to best position yourself for success, but success is unfortunately never guaranteed because of the randomness involved. But do enjoy yourself in the process. There's just something oddly satisfying watching your dad try to beat you, but only ends up hurting himself. Maybe because of my childhood? Who knows? If you find that I missed something, please let the community know in the comments, and likewise, if you're successful with your own AFK attempt, please do share. Thanks all, stay safe, and see you guys in the next one.